With Großer Kurfürst being retired to the armory, we've got a new top of the tree, the Tier 10 battleship Preussen. Today, I'll be showing you my first game in the ship to see how it plays, but first, we'll run through a brief overview and my build. Immediately, the first thing that you may have noticed different to GK is the main batteries. You have got less, but they are much bigger and have a significantly lower reload time, so because of this, my assumption is the ship may need to run more of a hybrid build rather than entirely investing in secondaries. As for their accuracy and dispersion, that's identical to GK as well, so there is still the potential for going with a full gun build. With these secondaries, they do look slightly different to GK's, but you have got the same number and caliber. At close range, you'll still be a real threat since that 32mm threshold is met. As for the armor scheme, again it's close to identical to GK's, so I would assume that it's going to be able to shrug off shells in a similar manner. I do, however, imagine with such a large superstructure, again similar to GK, unbearable HE spam still won't feel like anything out of the ordinary, so fire prevention may prove to be essential, but we'll have to see. One difference I did notice is the turrets are more armoured, especially at the front sitting at 480mm. This is good since having less barrels per turret means losing a turret leaves you at more of a disadvantage, because GK is left with 9 guns versus Preussen's 6. Moving on, you've got a standard set of consumables. You've got an unlimited damage control party, 4 charges of the repair party, a choice between a fighter or spotting aircraft, and personally I'd choose the spotter since that's going to mitigate the 20.6km range, and finally a German hydro with the standard 6km of ship detection and 2 minutes of active and cooldown time. As for the anti-air, you've got a decent array of secondary and dedicated anti-air mounts, giving it a good rating. However, if we are going to be realistic, that's not always going to prevent carriers from getting strikes on you, as that's more down to luck with repeated flak hits, so hopefully we'll get a CV game and see how they perform. You've got a standard 30 knot top speed, and because you are such a large vessel, that is reflected in the wide turning circle and moderate rudder shift time. And speaking of size, moving on to concealment, it doesn't surprise me with how high it is, as that is something that is pretty much standard for German BBs. With our rundown covered, we'll head into a game whilst covering our build. The commander I'm using I've taken off my GK, and that is running a standard secondary build. I've taken gun feeder, grease the gears, longer range secondaries, manual secondaries, fire prevention, and finally emergency repair expert. Once this does get to 21 points, the final skill I'm going to be taking is adrenaline rush. As for the upgrades, from looking at the parameters, I've gone with somewhat of a hybrid build. I'm running auxiliary mod 1, damage control 1, secondary batteries 1, damage control 2, concealment mod, and main batteries mod 3, as this will improve our already great reload, and since we don't have adrenaline rush, this should be a real help. And here we are in our game. We're currently on the map Crash Zone Alpha in a tier 10 game, and technically this isn't my first one now, because I did have 2 prior to this, and I can already tell you my impressions of this are that it handles HE spam like a drunk man handles driving. Not very well. It wasn't the most fun since I got targeted by a triple destroy division which contained a Ragnar, I believe it was a Delny, and a Forest Sherman, which ended quite quickly, and then the other one ended in very similar consequences, but that was instead primarily from a Forest Sherman. So far my experience of this has just been running away for the entirety of a match, so I thought that's probably not going to make for the best gameplay for a video. Now, so far, I mean, the guns, definitely because they're bigger, it's quite evident that... Oh, hello, real quick, sorry, I've just seen a very nice target. It's quite evident that because they are bigger, they evidently do a lot more damage, but the only thing is... Oh no, we hit most of them on the island. Citadel? No, not even a hit. Okay, fair enough. Is a lot of the time, especially when you're going against cruisers, is a lot of your shells are probably going to be over penetrations because they're just that big, they just go straight through. Now, of course, when you're getting some nice hits on battleships, on the other hand, I have had much better luck so far, so hopefully we can also see this game as well. But overall, it's okay from what I've seen, but most of the games, it's pretty much just been running for the entirety of those two. Now we're going to see how these shells do over here. So of course, because it is different to Großer Kurfürst, you've got a lot less guns, meaning although you've got the same accuracy and sigma, dispersion, you've got less of them, so it's effective. With the Großer Kurfürst, it's more effective, throw enough shit at a wall and, you know, some of that's going to stick, but you've got less shit in this case, so you've got less that's going to stick onto your target. Now I'm actually going to fire up my Hydra because I'm not entirely sure what destroys here. I'm assuming... Okay, so it looks like it's going to be a Smile and possibly or a Halland. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure at the moment, but I'm going to have to be quite careful because that is a bunch of torpedoes coming in, and I'm guessing that is going to be the Halland because the Smerland has got a torpedo launch with 5 and 3 respectively. So we're probably going to be taking one of these, but thankfully the torpedoes from the Halland don't do all too much damage. So, ooh, hello. That is the Zao. Ooh, this is, yeah, okay, this is, yeah, we're not threading that needle. So yeah, we're going to repair that and we're just going to start heading away now because at the moment, at this part of the map, it's just a fact of wait till someone pushes and then we're just going to have to do something. Ooh, hello. Okay, yeah, we're not in the best position, so I'm trying to get into a bit of a kiting position at the moment. I mean, that Schlieffen is probably going to hurt us at the moment, but at the moment I just want to get out of the way so I don't really take any big hits. Now I'm going to actually fire one of my heals at the moment because I don't particularly want to be taking too much. Oh, okay, Moskva, hello. If they keep edging forward, there's a good chance we may get a Citadel or at least a nice chunk of damage, unless we get unlucky. Ooh, okay, there we go. That was a double Citadel, so I'd say that's a pretty good start to the game. Yeah, okay, so we're going to start kiting away and hopefully this Schlieffen's going to continue to push. Now, their torpedoes aren't going to be able to get in range since we are running away, so I'm just going to continue firing on them, and it looks like they've actually been... There, they're focused on someone else at the moment, which I'm not going to complain with because it just means I can continue firing at them. So a penetration and over penetration, that's 6,000 damage. Overall, that's not too bad. But yeah, so when you're going against cruisers, I mean, of course, there we got very lucky because that Moskva decided to go completely broadside, and Moskva's anything other than their bow, he basically citadel them and ruin their day. So that was definitely quite nice to have that opportunity presented to us. Now, the Schlieffen is doing what Schlieffen seem to do best, so we're going to just continue to make the most of that. And yeah, it's definitely quite good that I've gone with Grease the Gears because, as you can see, the turret traverse on these guns are absolutely terrible. So if I didn't have that, it would probably be even worse, and we wouldn't have the opportunity to get our guns around fire now. And hopefully we can get a reload off just before these... Oof, there we go, 2 over penetrations, and we managed to secure our second kill. At this point, it's evident that the destroyer is in the cap, and yeah, it is the Halland as well, because the Smerland has been spotted at the top of the map, so that's definitely been confirmed for us. So we're going to sort of head in, but at least their torpedoes aren't going to hurt. Now, I think our Preussen over here is probably going to need to fall back because they do not have too much HP, so we're going to try and assist them and go for this Yamato, who is at a pretty much standstill. I'm going to fire a heal off as well, since we don't have Adrenaline Rush, and waiting for our HP to go down before we repair it just seems a bit counterintuitive since we're not going to be getting any benefit from letting it go down. Now we do have a Hirogumo which is going in, so we're going to try and support them with our secondaries, but again we'll have to see. And actually I've not put my secondary range on here so we can see if something is within range. I mean, you know when something's in range because your secondaries start firing, but it's just nice to see as well. So we're going to fire here, start turning into these Yamato shells, hopefully. Oh, okay, we just managed to dodge those, that's quite nice. I mean, the rudder shift, I mean, what is it, about 15 seconds? Doesn't seem all too bad. I mean, it's, I say it's a massive ship, so it's understandable it's not going to be the quickest, but as it stands, it's... Ooh, okay, Kurfürst just outside our range, so we do have the spotting plane if we did want to fire on them, but currently we can just continue to fire on the Yamato. Now, unfortunately, the Hirogumo did want to start farming on that Yamato as well, but they were the ones spotting them, so yeah, I was about to say they're going to have to wait until that Yamato fires, which they have, and now that means I'm also safe to fire on them too, so I'm going to do so, and I'm just going to start pushing forward and hopefully get a bit more damage. Now, we are actually quite deep into this game, so it's been quite a while. I'd like to get a bit closer and hopefully start attacking this Kurfürst and possibly get into a brawling range, because I want to use my secondaries a bit more, but so far 69,000 damage with this much time. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but I think I'm definitely going to have to do a follow-up video at some point once I've really understood how you play this ship. Now, there is also the new Russian ship as well, the new Russian destroyer, so if you want me to take a first look at that, then let me know in the comments below and I'll also do that too. Now, the Yamato isn't spotted, but I should possibly get spotted by them soon, and ooh, here comes more torpedoes, so let's try and turn into these as best we can. We may be taking another one of these, actually, from the looks of it. Unless we can slow down, I think we should be okay. Now, I can see why the Hirogumo is a bit hesitant at the moment, because, yeah, there we go, there's also a Zao, so we're going to actually fire just into the island, get our secondaries onto this Halland over here, and oh, that is, okay, that's problematic. Can we get a hit onto, no, okay, no we can't. Okay, so the Yamato is behind the island, so we're quite safe to go broadside from them. However, we are not safe to go against the Ghost Kurfürst because they've probably got AP loaded. I can't see why they'd have our explosive loaded yet. So we're just going to possibly try and bait them out to firing. I mean, don't think they're going to get a decent hit, so yeah, there we go. I think at this point now what we can do, we can just start turning away and kiting away at this point. And I think I might also drop a Hydro since probably going to have some torpedoes coming in relatively soon as well. Now I'm going to drop a repair party too because, again, our HP's dropped again and still no need to go for the... Ooh, that's kind of spooky, isn't it? There's Yamato coming around the corner. We're just going to fire about there. Hopefully we manage to get them just in that central bit, but I think that's not enough leading. No, okay, yeah, 2,000 damage, not the best, but even so we can just continue to keep going this way. Now we do have the support of our Kurfürst as well, who has appeared to have healed up, which is quite nice, unless that was... Okay, we've only got one in this game, so that is the same one. Going to aim forward a little bit more, and hopefully we're going to be able to get a few more hits. Thankfully the Yamato is also going for the Kurfürst, so we're still safe. 2 penetrations, 8,000 damage, so yeah, definitely these larger caliber guns can really pack much more of a punch. But it's just a fact of hitting them because you've got less of them. But, I mean, once you've got Adrenaline Rush, I mean, it may even be worth going for Adrenaline Rush first if you really didn't want to go for secondaries. But I think secondaries are still definitely something you should invest at least some of your points in because you still have a very nice array and you can get them up to 12.5 kilometers. I mean, this Yamato is not looking too good at the moment. We are about to get some decent map control and, oh, I do need to support our Kurfürst because they're going to be running into the Allen torpedoes, so... Just going to continue firing onto this guy and hopefully we can confirm the kill. If we can get maybe 3. If we can get 3 penetrations, that would be wonderful. It doesn't look like it. No, okay. 9,000 damage. Whoa. Oh, okay. That was SAP. Damn. I always forget how insane the SAP on the Venezia is. That thing can absolutely shred. I mean, I've not played Venezia too much, but I mean, I may do a video on that at some point because the SAP on that can just do absolute numbers, especially on battleships, and there's just nothing you can really do. Now we're going to wait for this Kurfürst to turn a bit. Actually, I don't think they will, so we're just gonna drop some more shells over. I mean, at this point, it's just this reload is insane. I think if you did go with a more like accuracy build, so in the third slot, if you gave up the range for the secondaries for accuracy, then I could imagine you'd be able to get a lot more hits and possibly get much higher damage games as well. So I may consider doing that for another video too, but again, if that's something you want to see, let me know in the comments below. So we're going to just continue to fire on this Kurfürst now. I mean, it does look like this is a guaranteed win. We've got about 4 ships left, so Smarland is running away from 5 ships over here, and then it's just a remainder over here too. Ooh, okay, that Kurfürst took an absolute beating. So 90k. I mean, this isn't the highest damage game ever, but I mean... It's my 3rd game, so still got time to get used to it, but it's generally just my first impressions of it. We could probably, yeah, I was about to say, yeah, with that Kurfürst dead, we can start getting into brawling range with the enemy Kurfürst and hopefully bolster our damage numbers up a bit, possibly get over 800k, which I think is definitely going to be possible, especially with that. There is the Kurfürst, so that's quite good. Our secondaries can start locking on, which is good. Just get our rear guns turning, and then we're going to just shift that rudder back again, so we don't take a full broadside. 9,000 damage, not too bad, not too bad. Getting the secondaries off, and we're already at 107k. Now if this was Schlieffen, I'd probably be dropping some torpedoes now, but since we don't have any torpedoes, we're just going to have to wait until they come round either this side of the island or that side of the island. But again, we do also have a Halland, which is somewhere around here, so you have to be careful of any incoming torpedoes. Might as well get this capture point as well, just so we can get a bit of XP. But as it stands, this is pretty much the game. I mean, in terms of damage, I think there's definitely potential to get some insane results because these guns are going to be able to do some devastating strikes. If you get close to someone, I mean, if this was not a Kurfürst, something that's not really got some great turtle back, you know, you're going to be able to absolutely just ruin a target. And we're actually going to see how much this can do at this range. Okay, 20,000 damage, not bad, not bad. If those were citadels, that would be probably a death strike, I think, depending on what we're going for. And okay, I was saying earlier about this GK firing HE, but it appears they actually are. Okay, looks like we're going to get a much higher damage number anyway, because there we go, 10,000 damage. Might as well pop a heal. just in case we do get torpedoed or something. But yep, at the moment this is definitely looking quite good. So this Kurfürst is effectively just giving us 3 HP. They are running away to get their secondaries on us, but I think out of the two of us, we are probably going to be the one coming out on top here. We're going to fire a little bit more ahead, just so we can get some more decent hits. Okay, 4,500 damage, it's okay. And since they have just fired HE, I do feel quite safe to do this game return here. However, we don't have too much room to manoeuvre, so we're going to go at just quarter speed and hopefully manage to finish off this ship. Now, I don't know why they're giving us so much side. I mean, I know the game's over, so I mean, there's not really much else they can do, but they could at least try a bit more. And okay, so from me thinking I was going to finish the game on about 90,000 damage to 175, that is quite a nice turnaround. So we might as well just go and get this capture point, and I've got to say I'm definitely quite happy with that. So that is a very, very nice result. So it just depends now where this Halland is. And here we are on the end result screen. Definitely looking a lot better than what I was expecting earlier on when I thought I was only going to get 90,000, so thank you very much to that Kurfürst for all of that extra damage. The Halland just carried on running off, so I just thought I might as well skip to the end result screen, and it definitely looks quite good. Now, in terms of the ship, I do think it is definitely better. It's certainly an improvement to the Kurfürst, and it feels a lot more fun, but it also still feels quite situational in terms of how you're going to be able to play it. Long-range sniping, I mean, you could also go for the accuracy mod. I mean, I can try that out, but really, you do need to be getting close range, is what at least I've got so far from this, to really make use of those massive guns where you can really do the most amount of damage. Because at the same time, you do have those long-range secondaries as well, so once you're able to get people in secondary range, that's basically where you're going to be getting the most results as well, because you're going to be getting a higher amount of penetrations with your shells, because more are going to hit your target, and there's a good chance they're going to get through the armour, and the amount of damage they do, it's just going to mean you're overall going to perform a lot better, and it just feels like a natural brawler. But the problem is, in the current way that this game plays, it's quite hard to get into those brawling situations, but overall, as my first impressions go, it's definitely quite a fun ship and definitely improvement on GK. I'm going to continue to play this and just get an overall feel for the ship, and if you want me to do a further video on this once I've had more experience in it, then let me know in the comments below, but apart from that, that really is it. So as always, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.